And investigations into allegations of cheating at this year's Comrades Marathon got underway towards the end of last month, following tip-offs received and investigations conducted by both the Comrades Marathon Association and KwaZulu-Natal Athletics. Our KZN Athletics has since taken a decision to name and shame those who have been found guilty of cheating at this year's race, with the aim of rooting out cheating entirely in the sport. And on the line to speak to us about the latest findings is the Vice President and spokesperson of KZN Athletics, Mandla Mngomezulu. Mandla, thank you so much for making time for us here on the AM Report. And I suppose many glance back and think about cheating at the Comrades Marathon and think to 25 years ago, where the greatest cheat, perhaps as many would say, was attempted at the marathon by the Motsoneng twins. 25 years on, how much headway have we made in rooting out cheating at the Comrades Marathon? Because it does seem like we're still seeing similar incidents of people looking to switch identities at different stages in the race.
Thank you so much, Andee, for having me. Thank you so much to your TV, and good morning to the listeners at home. Yeah, we are making huge inroads in trying to eradicate what might have been happening some years ago, as you made an example of the twins. So we are using technology these days. We are also grateful of the collaboration by the clubs and athletes themselves, because we receive tip-offs from the athletes, from the clubs. So it helps us. Also, we have planted a lot of technical officials on the route, including technology in terms of timing meds, which are able to track athletes whether they've passed here or not, including also photos and video footages. So the war is on. We need to do this so that our sport can be clean.
And if you're looking at some of the instances that you've been able to identify, some of the tools that you have been able to use as KwaZulu-Natal Athletics, what are some of the things that you've done differently to be able to uncover, the instances of cheating that you were able to this year?
Yeah, I think the greatest innovation that we have come up with was just to get the athletes themselves and the clubs to be alive to the fact that we don't need this to our sport. Because majority of the cases that we have uncovered comes through a tip-off and cooperation from the clubs. So I think that would be the tool number one. The second tool will obviously be the technology that I'm talking about, because we will put timing meds that are obvious, and then we will put timing meds that are hidden. The other greatest tool is extending the number of officials, some in uniform, some not in uniform, so that they cannot be detected. So that is helping us in catching this misconduct.
I suppose the question then is why? If you're looking at the reasons potentially why so many athletes would go that route, what would you put it down to? Because even as yourselves as a KwaZulu-Natal Athletics had given an opportunity for some of them to perhaps rectify some of the false information that had been provided. I think you had said before the 27th of May, for those that you had identified before the race. But even with that concession being given, you still saw incidents of those still trying to jipper the system when they've been given effectively a get-out-of-jail-free card.
Yeah, we saw that despite the warning and those that we asked them to withdraw themselves, we're thankful to those who cooperated and withdrew. But there were some handful who thought that they can still get away with it. The reason we can associate with maybe the prestige of the event, we know that it's a great achievement to be associated with finishing the event. The other aspect is desperation of achieving a certain number of medals or a particular medal amongst the medals that Comrades Marathon is affording to the runners. So a very, very small number is about breaking. We have got tip-offs of people who are just excited about breaking, that they were part of the event, even if they don't finish it. They will cheat the qualifying times just to be part of the event. If they don't finish it, they don't mind. It's all about posting. So, but it's a small number of those that are doing that. But majority, we will think that it's because of the prestige. And remember, there is also a green number status. So some are very disparate to reach that 10 Comrades Marathons so that they can be in the number status. So they will try all means to make sure that they are part of Comrades and they are considered as people who have finished so that they can fulfill their status.
Let's talk about your findings then, Mandla. Very clear, saying zero tolerance to cheating at this year's event. And you've sent a very strong worded letter just at the end of last week talking about cheaters identified at Comrades Marathon, 6 of them. Talk us through your findings there and the action that's going to be taken now, because you have confirmed that cheating was actually identified. So what happens now? Is there going to be a ban, and for how long? Just take us through perhaps some of the findings and the action that you want to take.
Yeah, some of the findings you will find athletes may be running sort of a relay, like the twins did. They will swap the jerseys or the race numbers along the route. A fresh person will now join the route and finish the race. So other cheating form is someone running on behalf of another person. For example, a male running on behalf of a female athlete who is not in the race completely. Some cheating events will be someone who has not entered the race completely, but will run on a race number or in the name of someone that have entered the race. So those are some of the form of cheating that we have caught. Some they jump into cars.
Sorry, Mandla, before you get into those, I want to perhaps go into some of the examples from the 6 that you are referring to. And one that you speak to is Peter Bukhash, who was a male who ran on behalf of Khomotso, who's a female, with photo evidence at the end of the race being able to confirm this. Why is such not being able to be identified beforehand? Because it does seem like quite an obvious one, where if a male enters the race and a female is running, it should be quite clear that something is wrong.
Yeah, it's not easy to detect without using a sophisticated investigation system. It's not easy to detect from the beginning, because you remember 15, 18, 20,000 in a lineup. So everyone start the timing met, scan the chip that the relevant person has run, only to find that it's not the person. Because remember, it's not a face recognition system that we put, but instead is a timing chip system that we use. So there's a chip that is on the vest or the race number that is put on the vest of the athlete. So that's why you will have that discrepancy. Hence, we employ other mechanism along the route to root out, because it's not like a face or other biometric scanning system that is used. So that's a reason.
Yeah, quite interesting instances here. Illegally participating as a wheelchair athlete without entering the event is some of the other findings. But let's go to the sanctions then. What is going to happen to these 6 and any others that you identify from this stage on that were guilty of cheating at the Comrades race? Do you look at each one on its merits to determine the sanction, or what kind of action is going to be taken?
Yeah, maybe firstly one is to appreciate and thank Comrades Marathon Association for their cooperation in this and the effort that they've put to make sure that they have a beautiful event. The sanctions varies from, yes, we do look at the merits of each case, but the sanction mainly involve being banned in this year's race in particular. You will be stripped of your medal or whatever achievement that you have achieved for this particular race. If the athletes have run, then you will be banned for the next 2 Comrades Marathon that will take place. That is 2025 and 2026. Also, we are working with Athletics South Africa and as well as the clubs also to take their own disciplinary measures. So on the part of Athletics South Africa, we are looking at banning those athletes countrywide so that they don't participate in the sport, in the formal competitions completely. So we are believing in that. In doing that way, we will be able to effectively and efficiently deal with this gouge.
Well, let's certainly hope this serves as somewhat of a deterrent to those attempting to cheat in future races. Thank you so much for your time, Mandla, here on the AM Report. So that's Mandla Mngomezulu, who is, of course, the spokesperson and vice president at KwaZulu-Natal Athletics, just speaking to some of the findings from the investigations into cheating at this year's Comrades Marathon.